presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Set in the Sonoran Desert and surrounded by the majestic McDowell Mountains, we're at the stadium course at TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action for today's event. Frank, when you think about the TPC Scottsdale, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The golf course has been radically changed in 2014, but it still hasn't lost its luster. Really, it's just been updated like the game itself for these young, strong players of the modern era.
We are about 170 yards from the hole. Frank, it's not just a golf tournament at the TPC Scottsdale.
It's a party.
It's a giant throwdown, isn't it?
It certainly is, but the atmosphere works here. It just fits in. The players are aware of it. They're quite fine to play amongst it, too, because it's such a rare event.
And to be honest, a lot of the fans, and there were almost 180,000 on Saturday alone in 2013, a lot of the fans, they don't see a single golf shot. They're too busy having a good time, having a party. I like the looks of this one. Pure strike, good result.
Right, and that is close.
Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Knows it is a 4-round tournament, setting himself up for a good weekend, maybe a great one. The young star makes his birdie.
Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Second shot coming out of the rough here. From the rough, he manages to not only make the green, but get within easy striking distance of the hole. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Workmanlike hole, he walks away with a par. Let's go down now to hole number 13. Frank, 2 parts to a golf tournament. Thursday, Friday, make the weekend, and then?
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, obviously, that's when you make your gravy. But right about now, too, you have to reevaluate your game. This game is solid enough, too. The score doesn't quite reflect what it should be, though. Just making the cut isn't good enough.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
A few more birdies like that, Rich, you never know, just might sneak place on the podium.
In the top 10 right now. At the 14th now, it's a par 4.
And a dogleg left once again. The bunker on the left side's been pushed out to the fairway to really make you think whether or not you can carry that. It's a lengthy second shot because it's going to play a little bit uphill. And this green is well protected on the left side with the 2 bunkers.
Frank, we've seen guys like Phil Mickelson hit it off the cart path. How tough is this shot?
Well, for a high-level professional, actually, it just looks harder than what it is. They'd rather here than the rough any day.
This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. So they'll tap in. And with that par, moving into the top 5 on the leaderboard.
Nice handful on the top of the leaderboard.
All right, Frank, now the fun begins. We are teed up at the par 5 15th hole. Plenty to talk about here.
Yeah, the fairway down the left side is anything other than straight. It's more like a shipwreck, the raggedness of it. And that water in play, well, if you do find one on the fairway, you can sort of always wave across to the people that are walking down the 11th hole. Find the fairway, you can reach this par 5 and 2. A little bit of an island-looking green there, bunker on the left, and also another bunker just short right. But a fairway missed here. Well, you can rack up 5, 6, 7. We've seen all sorts of scores here at 15.
Frank, you played in conditions all over the world. Here come the winds now. What's the mindset?
Well, this is really what separates the men from the boys. This is where you've got to tell yourself, and it's an advantage to you. Obviously, the scores will go up a little bit, given the conditions. But once again, this is going to suit the stronger player today.
You like the old phrase, swing easy when it's breezy?
Definitely when you're hitting it into a head breeze. But if down breeze, tee it up a little bit, try and ride that wind some more.
Frank, this ball's in the rough. Anything you change in your technique when a ball's sitting down a little bit?
Yeah, you put the ball back a little bit further in your stance because you're going to get a bit of grass between the ball and the club face. So you have to allow for that and keep that club moving. that grass is going to be that grass is going to create a certain amount of resistance.
Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Looks primed right now.
Anything other than backing up. Very aggressive. That birdie, now in second.
Frank, right where you want to be at the midway point of a tournament.
Yeah, you know your game's solid. The focus is more on the leader and that you can just go out and play. Excellent position to be in.
Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Here at the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, and Frank, when so many people tune in to watch this great event, they think immediately of the 16th hole with all of those fans jammed in. It's like Fenway Park inside the desert there, but it's much more than that little par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is more than that, Rich. The TPC Scottsdale is a great venue for a PGA Tour event. It's a blend of everything. Birdie opportunities, holes that are fraught by water, bunkering that's been changed. All in all, it's a great atmosphere with nearly 500,000 people that visit this during the tournament week.
So the golf ball ends up in that first cut. It's a little bit less than 2 inches. You can see the golf ball. Should be able to get at it, but may not be able to control the spin. We'll see. Been this way all day. Airtight, no mistakes, solid shot.
And yet another green in regulation.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Good roll, solid. That's a par. Well, Frank, now at the 5th hole, the par 4, the challenge stiffens just a bit.
Yeah, the longest par 4, obviously in the start of this golf course, around the 470-yard mark. 2 bunkers down the right have been changed to 1, but it's in the perfect position now. Of course, that new tee added to add a little bit of length to this hole. Green still remains relatively similar to what it used to be.
Excellent drive right there, Frank.
Circa 310.
And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
That's a bit offline in the rough. Well, certainly playable from here. Ball is in the first cut. Not too bad. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Frank, this has been an absolute mess today and all week long.
You said it best.
Par 4 sixth, and Frank, a couple of options here.
Yeah, a hole that bends to the left. A draw is the preferred shot off the tee. The longer hitters will have a big advantage. They'll be able to get it down there and just have a pitch or a short wedge into this. If you're not, well, that long, then you're going to have to lay it back short of those bunkers. That's going to leave a lengthy second shot.
Not quite what he was hoping for. The tee shot in the bunker. Frank, just a slight miss off the tee. He's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, you just really got to pick the right club once again. Sometimes you take a little bit more club out of the fairway bunker, choke down.
His second shot. Birdie try up next. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. On the way. Frank starting to make the move.
Leaderboard very volatile at the moment, so a lot of move in that middle piece of the leaderboard. Top 20 so far.
On to the par 3 seventh, 215 yards from that back tee box, Frank.
This hole hasn't really changed, still has that V-shaped green where it's very narrow in the front. A high-flying shot in here that carries that front edge, and you'll find the further and further you go back there, the more receptive and that green starts to widen.
This is a good-looking shot. That one is running so high. So, Frank, just from the fringe, what's the best way to hit this shot?
The best players would chip. This is going to be risky, though. I don't know if he's got the skill.
And he's made the green. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. They'll take it. That's a par. 3 rounds in the books. Outside the top 10 going to the final 18. Frank, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think you're going to have to approach the final round in a couple of different phases. Try and be aggressive early on. If you do get a few birdies in the bank, you really still can fancy yourself with a chance to win. It'll all depend on that start tomorrow.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming your way. Simply put, there is nothing like it in the game of golf. It is by far the biggest spectator event in the sport. We're at TPC Scottsdale in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. And Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
Well, everybody wants to know about 16, the famed par 3 here, surrounded by those skyboxes. Once again, that'll be a topic of the day. But really, this is a regular sight for the PGA Tour. So those of you that were familiar with the golf course, it's now changed. 2014, the designers Morris and Weiskopf did a massive renovation.
Well over 100,000 fans every day, better than 500,000 for the week. It's a giant party mixed in with a heck of a tournament.
Hazard.
Maybe wet. Oh, a bit unfortunate. Wasn't able to avoid the sand trap. Great knees, great hands in this shot.
Yeah, touch. You have to have that feel. You have something between the ball and the club face, so it's a different feel, but you also have to have imagination.
Birdie try up next. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
Rich, it's been a very good workmanlike performance. Yet another birdie.
Into the top 15 on the leaderboard. Well, partner, here we go. Players have characterized it as terrifying, chaotic, amazing. The stadium atmosphere here at this hole, the 16th, the par 3, is really spectacular, isn't it, Frank?
It is. Because of the atmosphere, the number of people, this is the closest a golfer gets to like kicking a field goal in a Super Bowl, because it's just surrounded by people. It's not really the difficulty of the hole. Just over 160 yards, a modest par 3. There's no water in trouble, but it's an atmosphere that golfers never normally are familiar with.
Frank missed the green off the tee.
Yeah, but this is certainly a tricky little shot coming up here at the par 3.
Now from the bunker.
Yeah, just a little splash out on this par 3.
Solid play, heart of the green. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Frank, 16 was fun. 17 is always exciting here at TPC Scottsdale.
You've got to be careful because that water that sort of goes around the left side of the green, if that ball's coming in with a little bit of hook, it's just going to keep going left. There's the one bunker you really have to focus on. That's the one in the middle of the fairway. 280 will carry that. Chances are the ball can run onto the green. It takes a brave man really to try and fly this ball all the way there. It's not really needed because there's always another 10 or 15 yards of run. Factor that in.
Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. And with the birdie, moves into the top 10 on the leaderboard.
And moves into some very good company.
To the 18th hole now, and Frank, the original designers stepped in and they made this hole quite a bit more challenging.
Yeah, they certainly have stiffened it up. The longest hitters in the game, the Dustin Johnsons, the Bubba Watsons, the J.B. Holmes, used to take it completely over the lake down the left side where there was just one paltry bunker. Now there's a series of bunkers, almost like the church pews at Oakmont, that are littered down the left side, stopping that attack. You're going to have to respect this hole that much more off the tee. Find the fairway. It's still a short iron in, but this finishing hole is now a proper finishing hole.
This won't hurt him, Frank.
Just a little left with the flag. That's fine.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
These putts keep the round together. That's good work. That's a good par right there. Frank, we did see some good golf out there today, but others really struggled.
Yeah, any competitive player wants to win. We don't doubt that, but we know you're not going to win them all. So it's still important for every golfer to continue to gain experience, to actually get something out of each and every tournament they play in.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Should be pretty good right there, on the safe side. Well, that's what the great ones do. From the rough, they use their skill and their strength to get it out and get it close. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Clean this up with a tap. Still playing even for the day after the par. Frank, 440-yard par 4 11th. You see that number on the card, you think driver. Maybe not. Why?
Yeah, it's imperative you hit the fairway here, Rich. Water obviously in play left, 2 bunkers on the right. This is a second shot hole.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Frank, another good hole, the par 4 11th, looking at the second shot now.
Yeah, the second shot has a similar look to the second shot at the third hole at Bay Hill. Water all down the left-hand side, that has to be respected. And a green really where you've got to favor the right side, or at least right of middle.
Stuck the follow-through right there. This could be really good. Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
Even par currently.
And with that birdie, moving into the top 20 on the leaderboard. Frank, 574-yard par 5. Scoring opportunity here?
The breeze behind, once again, a reachable par 5. The hardest thing about this hole really is the green. It's raised up a little bit, slopes off on either side.
And now the second shot here at this par 5. So after the layup, Frank, here at the par 5 12th, pitch shot here, try to make birdie.
Yeah, just use the contours of this green. You can actually get to this flag a lot of different ways. Using one of the mounds, there's nothing wrong with that.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. Frankie's going for 2 birdies in a row.
If he can knock this one in, then that's certainly going to help the confidence.
So into the top 15 on the leaderboard with that birdie. A few more, and who knows, maybe top 10 or top 5. At the par 4 13th now, Frank, what's the key here?
Really avoid those 3 bunkers, Rich. You don't want a fairway bunker shot over water for your second shot.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frankie's cranking it and banking it. Giant drives, a boatload of birdies. What a round.
Yeah, these are the days you just dream for. We know golf's not that easy, but on a day like today, savor it and just keep going. Keep doing it.
Good-looking shot right here. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Getting set now over the putt. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Frank, now to the 14th of par 3, and how difficult is this hole?
Once again, very narrow entry into the green, so ideally you want to fly the ball a little higher than normal, make it soft, make it land a little softer.
That one was running so hot. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. With authority, count it as a par and 2 under. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Navalo. So long for now.